since many weeks almost that there is any significant weather here in the central of Europe, and especially in the Alps. There's quite some rain and clouds left from a small but significant cold front coming through earlier today. Let's just have a quick look at the weather charts so you can get an idea about that. So here you can see the radar chart from just right now, and we can see especially in the region here south of Munich and the German Alps, but reaching it almost to the Inntal. There's quite some precipitation yet still around, even so this is getting less and less. It's still significant. And here where we are in Zell am See, there's not so much, but still, as you also can see in the simulator here, there are some clouds, and if you look to the left here, look into direction of the Großglockner, it's clear that we cannot directly simply cross the mountains on the typical VFR roads. If we pull up SkyDemon, you can also see that this has this nice preview here also of the typical crossings here over to Matrei. This is all X-ray, 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 and also via the Gallows into the Zillertal is currently still marginal, but also becoming X-ray, and also the routing across the Brenner is not very good. So considering this, I think it is a good idea to go for VFR, IFR flight plan today. So we will do that, and to at least get on the southern side of the Alps where the weather is much better. So Trento actually is KVOC and no clouds, nice warm Italian spring weather. So we will go IFR just to cross the central Alps, and then once we are on the southern side we will descend a little bit, cancel IFR, and continue VFR into Trento to also have the opportunity to make some sightseeing, since we are going right across the beautiful Dolomites. And so that's the plan. So I would say let's jump right into the aircraft and start with our preparations. Okay, so let's just start with some avionics setup. Switch on the batteries and the avionics, so we can do some planning here. I've also already put in a potential flight plan. Unfortunately, the current X-Plane database for some reason neither has the NANIT departure for Zell am See nor the AirNav approach into Trento. The latter one we won't need anyway, but actually to have the standard instrument departure out of Zell am See would have been nice. We don't have this, so I cannot program it. Unfortunately, also I'm not able to get any chart material from the web. I only know that there is some sort of a departure which ends at NANIT, and the autorouter also suggested NANIT as the first en route waypoint. From there we are crossing into the Pustertal to the Detza waypoint, crossing the Pustertal, and then already into the Dolomites. Here we are Aswood, Alese, and which is the valley of LOWZ. That's why it's the name, I guess. It's just LOWZ, yeah, spelled, and the first few characters are missing, and then to the TNT Trento VOR as the final waypoint. And that's exactly what we are going to do. So we pretend we have got a clearance via this NANIT departure, which I do not have any information about. So we will simply climb out of Zell into western direction, try to stay in visual conditions to clear the mountains, and then climb on up to flight level 200 and go on this route across the central mountains of the Alps. And once we have reached Detza, we will look how the weather conditions look there, and maybe already at Detza or even slightly before that start our descent below flight level 150 or so, and then cancel IFR and continue nice VFR flight along the central Dolomites here via the Sella, the Rosengarten, and the Latemar, and via the valley of LOWZ down to Trento. So this is all set up already, and yeah, I think we can almost continue with engine startup. It's the first time I fly the Epic, or well, I did a short lap yesterday, but the first serious flight. So I've also configured a few things differently on my gear here on my joystick, and I have additional input device here for managing gear and flaps. And so, yeah, fingers crossed that all this works, and we do not get any trouble. The only thing left before I really start here, and we just switch off the avionics to save some power before engine start up, I will just transfer this IFR route, or at least a rough sketch of that. I will transfer that into Sky Demon, so we can have the nice Sky Demon map. Maybe not all the time, because it's don't want to cover the nice Epic cockpit, but as a fallback, or as another possibility to show you a little bit more where we are and what's going on. Okay, sorry for the short wait here, but now we also have the routing available in Sky Demon, at least with the NANIT waypoint, and then here that's near Tobiaco, and from there we will continue VFR as I just explained. Okay, perfect. I switch Sky Demon off again, so you can see a little bit more what's going on in the cockpit. Okay, let's have a look at the checklist and make sure that the door is closed. Yeah, that's fine. Let's also try to equalize our fuel here, so we have 150 gallons of fuel on board. That should be plenty. I think the Epic, we will burn about 60 gallons en route, so this should be good for more than 2 hours of flight. So we are done here, and we can start with the checklist. Pre-flight cockpit checklist. Parking brake is set. Yeah, flags and wheel chocks removed. That's done. Condition lever is idle. Gear lever is down. Switches is all off and neutral. Battery switch 1 and 2 on. Okay. Flaps down. Fuel, we checked it. Check it here on the display on the G1000 again. That's fine. Roughly half full. Battery switches 1 and 2 off again. Before start, fuel selector. We start with the left tank. Power lever is idle, propeller lever is feathered, condition lever is cut off, landing gears is down, battery switches 1 and 2 on, avionics master switch on, ELT is armed, I don't know yet where the ELT is, okay, over there. Is armed, okay. Very good. Flaps up again. Beacon on. Engine start. Battery voltage. Check more than 23 volts. No, we don't have this. Let's see if it makes a difference. Strobes on. Prop area seems to be clear. Fuel pump on the selected tank, that's the left one. Fuel pressure. Oh, where do I see this? The fuel pressure, if it's rising. Okay, just pretend that is fine. So, fuel selector switch tank, it says, fuel pressure 0. Okay, since I don't know where the fuel pressure readout is, I cannot check that. Let's go back to the left tank. Starter. Press once. Igniter at 9%. Turbine rotation, that's now. Oil pressure is rising, yeah. Condition lever to flight idle at 15%. Light up, yep. Temperature, oh. But it stayed below 1000 degrees, so that's fine. Good startup. Okay, we have more than 51% on gas generator, very good. Igniter off. Voltage should be now between 27 and 28.4, that's fine, 28 volts, and the oil pressure is higher than 60 psi, so I call it a good startup. After engine start, checklist, stand by Ultimo, oh, okay, new aircraft. So, trim switch, autopilot master switch, pressurization switch, okay, stick pusher is on, altimeter, (24 70 for Zell am See is set. Flight plan is briefed. Battery voltage is still good, and we are charging. And lights as required, so we switch on the nav lights. Rest is fine. And looks like we are ready to taxi. Let's have a view from outside first. Okay, so let's get going. Taxi checklist: propeller lever fully forward, condition lever flight idle, check minimum 900 RPMs on the propeller. We have reached 960 already, that's fine. We check the brakes in a moment. And trim is set to take off. Let's check the beta mode. Okay, beta is working. So we are good to go. Taxi light on and brakes released. Oh, that 172 was close. And this thing is picking up quite some speed, so we need to use the beta already. At least we have a little bit of evening sun now. You really have to use the beta range, otherwise this thing is galloping away, even with the thrust lever at idle. Before takeoff, brakes hold, flight controls are free and correct. Yep, looks good. Power lever advanced to 1500 RPM on the prop. I hope the brakes will hold. Ah, 1500. Okay, that's close enough. Propeller lever pull 2/3. And we should still have above 1000 RPMs, that's fine. Power lever idle. Flight instruments are checked. We have a good heading indication, good altimeter, good airspeed. Okay. Flaps to take off. And trim is rechecked. for takeoff. And it seems, yeah, here we go. X-plane froze there for a moment. Igniter on. And let's put the pitot heat on. I think that's good. External lights, landing lights on. And we're good to go. If there's anything in the approach. No. Runway also seems to be clear, so we will simply after takeoff continue on runway heading and continue directly in western direction until we reach at least flight level 100, which should clear us of most of the surrounding mountains to the north, and then we can pick up the first leg to Nanit and continue climb up to flight level 200. Okay, so let's have some fun. Okay, and it says 80% torque minimum for takeoff and 100% for full performance takeoff. I think we will choose something in between, like 90 as a target torque. Okay, let's go. Knots, rotate. Clear up. Let's accelerate to 120 knots for flaps up. There are 120, flaps up. Yaw damper. Nice view to the Großglockner back there. Just some cumulus here, no problem. And we're already passing 10,000 feet now. So let's continue to our first waypoint. And look at the flight checklist. Landing gears out, flaps is up. Igniter is going off. And power can stay like this. Okay. Looks good. Actually from here the central Alps are completely clear, so much for the weather forecast. Anyway, we will proceed as planned via Nanit and Detza, and then afterwards continue on VFR. So let's let the autopilot do some work here. Lights off. Yeah, with this really epic climb rate, I mean the mountains are not really a challenge, yeah. So we are not anywhere close full power here, just talking 72% now. So we have almost reached our cruise altitude of flight level 200 already, even before the first waypoint. So this amount of sheer power really, yeah, you can do almost any mission with that, I guess, without having to worry too much about any performance issues. This is in fact also performing, this thing is performing on a much higher level than the Vision Jet we used for the first 2 episodes. It's really a rocket. Okay, cruise checklist, cruise power, max ITT 760 degrees, that's fine. And the rest should simply stay below the other red lines. Trim is adjusted, pitot heat is on, pressurization seems to be good. So let's wait for the autopilot to do the first turn. Level off has occurred successfully. So there should be a left turn now in a few seconds. 6 seconds. I don't think it is anticipating our speed correctly. I think we will overshoot quite a bit. Well, let's see. Here comes the turn. Here you see the Gallows Pass, the Zillertal, and back there is Innsbruck. This is the Gallows Stausee. Beautiful view. Here at the horizon are also the Dolomites already. View back to Groß Venediger and Großglockner. Very nice. Some clouds down there in the valley, but nothing really to bother us. I think this is going to be a very nice sunset flight into Trento. Now, autopilot now trying to intercept the next leg. And our true airspeed is already does the zoom not work now? Our true airspeed is already above 300 knots here, 340 now. So this is really hot stuff. The only thing is the view in direction of light is not very good, at least not with the standard pilot's head position. So maybe like this you can see a little bit better. Again, I think the default X-plane weather system does a very good job in depicting this particular situation here. I mean, it's not perfect, but to be honest, everything I've seen so everything I've seen so far in terms of add-ons trying to improve X-plane weather, I am not really convinced. I think the default X-plane clouds are not as bad as many say they are. For me, that's for most situation I fly in, this is very good. And look at this here. I think this really, also from my personal experience flying real planes in exactly this area, this is really good. Also the sky coloring and the haze in the distance, this is really nice stuff. So you can see the Dolomites coming up, these very characteristic steep, pointy mountains here. And I think this here, the highest one with this camel hump here, that's the Marmolada, the highest point of the Dolomites. And to the right will then be the Rosengarten as a very well-known mountain range. And I think now, as we are coming up on our next waypoint already, we will initiate a descent down to flight level 150 and then cruise along on our planned route here and have a nice view at those mountains in the evening sunlight. So let's dial in 150 and let's hit flight level change and reduce the power a little bit. And since we are in flight level change mode, the autopilot tries to hold the speed that we have dialed in, and to be able to do that, he will lower the nose accordingly. Of course, what is missing here in the scenery is some snow. Definitely there should be a little bit snow on the highest mountains. This is something, seasonal textures and snow in general is something laminar research has to improve a little bit on. Here comes the turn for the next leg. And here that's roughly the area of where the I think is it the Isaac? I think the river Isaac, which comes here from the Brenner Pass, where also the Autobahn is coming in. No, I think it's a little bit later. It's over here. Yeah. Sorry. Let's have a better look out of the window. Yeah, okay. This is the LOWZ here, very famous for skiing. And we have Bruneck here in the valley behind that, and the Brenner is over here. More or less Toblach now here, I think, where we are. Yeah. Kronplatz is also a very well-known skiing mountain, which is now roughly exactly below us. Still 1,000 feet to go. It's a little bit hard to make out the individual mountains without snow. Usually when you're flying here, the snow gives you a little bit more contrast, in the sense of that the highest mountains have more snow and the lower ones less, and the valleys of course no snow depending on the time of year. This helps a little bit with identifying that stuff. Now I'm having a little bit of a hard time, but if I'm not completely mistaken, this is the cellar. Could that be? And then this whole thing in front of us would be the Rosengarten. Yeah, and this is the Latemar, probably. Need to prepare this sort of thing better. Let's have a short look in the Sky Demon. What's going on there? Yeah, so I think the cellar was correct. Right of us you can now see Brixen down here. Okay, now I have a little bit of better understanding. So of course this is the Marmolada, yeah, and here you can also see the glacier on the north face of the Marmolada. This is already depicted quite well, even so overall there's not enough snow shown, but this is the Marmolada. So we had the Langhofen and the Zeller right here, and we are now flying across the Rosengarten, this whole area below us. No, this is the Rosengarten. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're getting there. Sorry for that little confusion, but even so, I think the whole lighting and clouds and scenery is really quite nice. Really, the missing snow makes it for me a little bit hard to really pick out all these places. So, Marmolada, Zeller is already out of view, Langhofen, Breitkofel, Rosengarten, Latemar. Now we have it completed. And even so, this might be a little bit too loud for you. Let me just switch into outside view. I think once we are past the Rosengarten here, we will have a very nice view backwards with the sunlight producing that classical blood red illuminated Rosengarten, which is a picture very common on on tourist information material from Südtirol. And maybe we can see that here also, just in a minute from now. Here you can also see already see in the middle of the picture the Maranza. That's basically the mountain that directly marks Trento. The airport is directly below here in the Edge Valley, so that's where we are going. Have a few backwards. And when we look out the right window, we can see down here Bozen, Bolzano with its airport. Maybe we come here on the way back to Germany once we have completed our Mediterranean airport tour. Oh, coming up on LOWZ, just below us, and here you can see these two small lakes and the Lago di Caldonazzo here down in the valley, and that's also a good marker for finding Trento when you're coming from this direction. And I think for us it is time now to start our descent, and since the weather is very fine and I know this region from actual flying, we will simply make a nice visual approach. So let's switch off the autopilot. And use the power a little bit. And let's see for the descent checklist. Power is required, airspeed below 270 knots, pitot heat is on, ARTIS is not available, approach briefing. We will be coming in from the northeast here, and simply join the left-hand traffic pattern for the runway 36. We will make a low approach and then go ahead to the north and make a turn there and come back in for final landing into southern direction, because this is what you usually do at this time of the day, because you have usually strong winds from the south at the late afternoon and evening. Okay. So we are passing here directly over this reporting point, which is good. And we will come in, make a left-hand traffic for runway 18, just a low approach, go out again to the November visual reporting point, turn around here and then come in for landing on runway 18. Okay, passing 10,000 feet. Let's switch on the lights. The nice thing about the Epic it's not only climbing very fast because of the big propeller, it's also descending very fast. So it lets you manage your altitude really easily. Lago de Caldenazzo, just below our left wing. And you can see already the airport beacon. Even so, we had plenty of sun up there. Now as we are descending into the Edge Valley, it's already almost night down there. So you can see all the street lighting and cars. Okay, so I will switch off the Sky Demon window here. So So the gear can come down at 150, but we have already reached speed for flaps 1, 160, 150, here comes the gear. And let's turn for final.
1000.
Town of Mattarello here below us. River Edge.
500.
And the Autobahn to Verona.
400.
Flaps full. And let's go around.
50, 40, 30.
Power set. Flaps up. Gear up. Some reason it didn't drive the flaps when I first clicked them, and we immediately noticed that climb performance was very weak. with full flaps extended, but now we are configured properly. And we will just fly to the north to the November 2 entry point into the Trento traffic zone, and then turn around there, come back in and do our full stop landing. Okay, let's turn around. Gear down. Full flaps. And before landing checklist, fuel selector auto switch is off, fuel selector fullest tank. Yeah, flaps are down for landing, gears down. Okay, landing checklist complete. And we are still missing the igniter. Okay. Finals check. Gear down, 3 green, flaps as required, propeller fully forward, igniter on, and airspeed at 90 to 100. A little bit high here on the final.
200. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Yeah, welcome to Trento. I think we have to refuel, so we will taxi directly to the refueling station. It's over there. Let's quickly run the after landing checklist. Power lever idle, flaps up. Pressurization off. Pitot off. Okay, after landing checklist is complete. This hangar is actually not in the right direction. The doors are facing to the west, not to the north. And the glider trailers are also positioned in the wrong direction. Whoa, we won't make that turn. Let's stop here. Usually this spot is also a little bit bigger. The refueling station is a little bit more to the back actually. Anyways, let's switch the engine off. Power lever is idle. Beta is off. Condition lever low idle. Propeller lever feather. And condition lever off. Fuel pumps and igniter off. That goes off, lights off. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful flight, and see you next time, probably in a week from now, when we continue exploring the southern Alps, starting here from Trento, and probably will go to Asiago and then further to the east, because the big plan is to go to Porto Roche finally. Bye bye, have a nice week and stay safe.